Hey guys, welcome to our very first episode of A Studio Nights. We're here with our first guest, Professor Stephen Bender. Welcome, Professor.
Thank you. Good to be here.
So, Professor, we know that you went to school at UF in Gainesville for your undergrad, and then you went to Harvard for your master's, and you spent some time abroad in between as well, I believe. And now you are the director of the architecture program here at UF CityLab in Orlando. And you are also a teacher, a professor here as well, and you're still a practicing architect as well. So a lot of things going on.
It's a few.
Just a few.
I have a family.
And a family, yeah, and a father and a husband, yeah, great. So could you tell us a little bit about really what drew you to architecture? Like, was it always something you knew you wanted to do when you were growing up?
It's a great question. I'm going to say yes.
Okay, yeah.
I built things
Mm-hmm.
when I was little. I built Legos, of course, forts, cars, ramps,
Wow.
all kinds of things to have fun with,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
primarily. And so I'd say that building things equated fun
Yeah. Oh, okay.
for me.
Mm-hmm.
At my grandfather's house, built little scalies. Like we would take pieces of tin and cut little people out of them, and then my brothers and I could go play under the tree,
Mm-hmm.
and make little forts for them in places.
Mm-hmm.
So there was that model building aspect of it always there
Mm-hmm.
as well. Boats, we made little boats for them also. When I was in elementary school, I enjoyed the art side of things.
Mm-hmm.
So I drew a lot, and I drew with different media. And I would say most of that was probably because of my mother, like making those kind of things available and
Mm-hmm.
fun stuff. But my father was an engineer, so I also did technical drawing and enjoyed that as well. I did theater when I was
Really?
in elementary school.
Oh.
We had a woman who volunteered named Mama Polson. You didn't know you were going to get this kind of detail. Right? What does theater have to do with architecture?
No, I like
right?
the connection.
But so acting and
Mhm.
like being present and doing group activities that were collaborative, like theater,
Mm-hmm.
was a big part of my youth. And I didn't just act, but I always wanted to be and became the stage manager.
Mm-hmm.
So I was a person who was in charge of making sure that scenes got changed and orchestrating what those things would look like and be like and how they would work mechanically, like
Mm-hmm.
All the logistics.
scenery
Yeah.
drops,
Yeah.
right? So and that's another thing that we do as architects all the time,
True.
right?
Yep.
And the show always must go on,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And it's never done until the curtain opens, right?
Yeah.
That's when
When it starts.
So there's that. I finished high school and I had taken drafting classes and all that stuff. And my father and my physics professor told me that I should become an engineer.
Really?
Oh wow.
Yeah, because I could be an architect if I was an engineer.
Okay.
But not the other way around.
And they were wrong.
Do you think your dad was a little biased?
Yeah, definitely. You won't like me telling this story, but I came to UF to do engineering. And it was a miserable first year. I got a D in calculus,
Oh, God.
4-credit class.
Oh
Wow.
Yeah.
That's hard.
And it wasn't because I was skateboarding all the time, even though I was skateboarding all the time. But I came to architecture through that activity. There were a couple of nice street obstacles at the architecture building, so that was one of the favorite places to skate. And so I met some students who were architecture students, and I went in the studios and I saw them all playing with their little sticks and planes and drawing things. I'm like, this is what I want to do. So I changed majors that summer. I told my father, and he said, this is going to be a decision you'll regret for the rest of your life.
Oh
my
wow.
God.
Yeah. Look at you now.
Yeah, well, you know, he gets it now.
Yeah.
So that's how I got to architecture.
Mm.
Um, it wasn't until I finished at UF, my undergrad, that my mom gave me a letter that her father had written when I was about 3 years old or somewhere around there to her, stating that he thought I would become an architect.
Wow.
Wow, no way.
Yes.
That's
Isn't that
that's heavy.
crazy?
Wow, that's
Yeah.
insane.
So I thought that was pretty amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah. It
Wow.
all worked out.
It all,
Mhm.
yeah.
Mhm.
And in practice now, you do housing. So can you talk to us a little bit about what you do in practice and what really got you into housing specifically as a typology?
Yeah, I think that's it's something I always wanted to do in practice, and frankly, I didn't get to do it until much later in practice. Housing specifically, houses a little bit. Um, it was in undergrad. It was probably design 5, which is design in the Florida landscape. We had to design a pavilion for dining, right?
Okay.
And it was in a site on Paynes Prairie. This is with Martin Gunderson, who was pretty well-known faculty member at UF, where I really got into kind of the experience of places that we do things together, like eat, in special contexts. And so that was maybe a first way into housing. Kim Tanzer in Design 8, and Kim's approach to teaching is very community driven. So we as students had to create the city that we built into, like a matrix.
Oh, okay.
And I really enjoyed that project. And then out of that came a project in Jacksonville, in East Jacksonville, that was multifamily. So that was my way into housing, probably in an architecture sense. In that project, I designed multifamily, but in a way that everyone kind of had their own special way of entering. So you went from the street to community space of some kind, but then to separate identifiable entrances. And then so that maybe there were different scales of street in the building.
There was a layering.
Yeah, layering. And there was a usefulness to the context. So it wasn't so fixed that you couldn't fix your car at the housing, right? So there were pockets of places for things like that to happen in multifamily. Not very realistic, frankly. When I went to Harvard, I worked on that project again. But even before that, I went to the Netherlands, and I spent a year in Rotterdam. And the only reason I could do that is because I squatted a house. And squatting means taking it over. Like no one was using it. And in the Netherlands, where every square meter is precious because you basically made it and maintain it and keep it out of the sea, you don't let a square meter go to waste. So if a building is empty and no one has a plan for it, you can crack it. You can break in and change the lock and paint a symbol on the door, and then it's yours.
Kind of market.
Until they have a plan for it and can kick you out.
Oh, wow.
That's interesting.
So I lived in that place for a year. Well, because it didn't belong to anyone, I could also change it any way I wanted.
Yeah, true.
And it had 2 stairs in it, which were very much like the project I did in Kim Tanzer's class that I was describing, with the multiple ways of entering.
Okay.
And my neighbors were also squatters. So we changed what were row houses, one above one, into a network of entrances and exits and places. It was fun.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I only had one heater, so I cut a hole in the floor of the room above where I slept so I could heat the lower room during the day, and then open that window in the floor, and the heat would come up into the room that I slept in. Anyway, housing is, I think, experimental.
Yeah.
And it should be, we should be able to make our places.
Yeah.
special to us in one way or another, and there are many ways that that can be done. It doesn't have to be cutting holes in things, frankly. It can be
Yeah.
other ways. But in any case, so that's some housing. Now I do shipping container upcycling, which is a very specific niche in housing.
Yeah.
And that ranges in size from single container DIY kit houses. That is mostly what I do for people that live in the hinterland on a scrap of property, to larger complexes which have yet to actually be built.
And are you doing that locally here in Florida?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm licensed in Florida and Colorado. I haven't built anything in Colorado yet, but
Why Colorado?
because there was some folks out there who thought they wanted to build some stuff out of containers. So
Oh,
we'll see.
Yeah.
We'll see if they do in the
Maybe
end.
in the future.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, pretty much everything else is in Florida and all around Florida. Yeah.
Could you tell us just a little bit about Harvard and kind of the education over there? It's
Yeah.
just intriguing. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not sure how I ended up there.
Why do you say that?
I didn't even want to go to undergrad. High school wasn't very satisfying. I don't know what your experience was like, but my elementary school experience in New York was a very good one. When I moved down here, that experience with that volunteer and doing drama was a good one.
Yeah.
Middle school and high school were not so good in Florida.
Those are rough.
Yeah, it's always
Those are the
You
rough.
start
it's always
testing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't have a mentor there really. There wasn't a professor really that I could say was a mentor. When I was in elementary school, also there was a special class, and I had a teacher who was very interested in creativity and did all kinds of great activities with us. But so I didn't want to go to undergrad. I applied to UF and Georgia Tech and whatever, and I went to UF. I was never like a high-scoring student. I was more curious than interested in getting good grades. So it does not seem like a formula to go to Harvard. My GPA was not massive, but my portfolio apparently was good, and that was the outcome of creativity
Yeah.
and
Exactly.
curiosity,
Yeah.
frankly. So it meant something then, and I think maybe one of the worries I have for architecture and for generations anyway is that you're judged more quantitatively than qualitatively
True.
often.
Yep.
And I wish the world was different in that respect. So I was standing in line to register for classes at Harvard, and everyone around me was like, yeah, Zaha Hadid's office and
Oh my
Enzo
gosh.
Piano's office, and these were all kids who had worked in these offices, and they weren't being paid to work there.
Yeah.
Oh,
And it was crazy, and I'm thinking to myself, well, I have done none of this, and I could never have afforded to do this or whatever. So there was a little bit of an outsider factor there for sure. I didn't make much of that, frankly. I did meet people there that I really did appreciate. There are good people everywhere you go, and all those people were good people, frankly.
Yeah.
They were just very different.
Yeah. Different background.
There was more culture shock moving to Boston and going to Harvard than moving to the Netherlands.
Seriously.
Wow.
Yes.
That's interesting.
I mean, aren't we used to rolling around in the grass in the middle of January in Florida? Yeah.
Whole different climate.
Yeah. There was a lot going on at Harvard. Rem Koolhaas was there during those years. But also the director of the school was Max Scoggin, and he was a Southerner from Atlanta, Scoggin, Elam, and Bray. There was a lot of factions there. But it was all fun.
Do you think you were mentioning about you didn't feel you have a mentor in elementary, middle school, and high school, and
in elementary, yes.
Middle school and high school,
not
no.
so much.
Yeah. Do you think there's somebody at Harvard that you consider a mentor over there?
Accidentally, maybe. Yeah. I mean, I didn't. Yes. I mean, my thesis advisor, Linda Pollack, was someone who I didn't know was looking out for me, but like was interested in the work I was doing in studio, and interested in the group that I was with. And so I think, but I would say my friends actually there were bigger influences on my education. And one, John Hong, was my roommate in the second year. This is a funny thing to say, but at UF we learned to draw. And we learned to draw in very idiosyncratic ways, and we made very beautiful drawings, but I don't think we understood how to read drawings. And this is a weird thing. You know how to craft a drawing, but you don't. In other words, we didn't have a analytical sense, I think, about drawings. We had an analytical sense about the world that we tried to communicate in drawings. John Hong came from UVA, and they did drawings that were extremely analytical. These were the axonometrics, the exploded drawings, you know, that, right? So I learned that from him. But in addition to that, like he was a multi-instrumentalist. So he probably, his parents wanted him to be a concert pianist, but he somehow managed to stop that. And so he learned to play saxophone and guitar and bass, and he had all his friends that did that. And so he also hung a bass on me at the GSD once and said, "Oh, it looks good on you. You should try playing it or whatever." And so I learned to play bass and guitar when I was in grad school from him.
Wow.
And these are things that you don't, like, is it really about architecture? But it is, right? Because I learned to play a fretted instrument, the way I drew changed.
Wow.
I was always envious of my friend Kevin. My friend Kevin was very tall, and he had very long fingers. And so he would take, you know, he would hold his pencil way up here, almost like a paintbrush, and he would draw on his, you know, fingers. And I was always amazed by that, right? And I was like the kind of like, you know, down at the tip of the pencil and like
pushing down.
right? So when I learned the fretted instrument, it changed the way I held the pencil.
Wow.
And it changed the way I drew.
Oh, wow.
So I don't know. We're talking mentors, but also maybe just things, people that influence and change the way you work.
Yeah.
And sometimes the way you see things too.
Yeah, the way you perceive architecture.
Exactly.
And I wanted to ask, so when you graduated Harvard, did you go right into practice?
It's a trickier answer. On my way back to Harvard for my last semester, my brother was killed in an auto accident.
I'm so sorry.
With a band he managed called For Squirrels. They were pretty popular in Gainesville. A lot of people still know them. They had a deal with Sony. They had just recorded their debut album, hadn't even been released yet. I went anyway. I couldn't see not finishing, so I went. I had a caffeine and noodle bowl diet, I think, that whole semester. It was rough. I did my thesis that semester.
That's hard.
And I did not come straight back to Gainesville. But a lot of other things happened in there too. Like the year before, I had won a chairman's fellowship to travel with Rem Koolhaas in Europe. So I visited Villa de Lava, Lille, the Congrès Expo, the Kunsthal in Rotterdam, which I used to walk through almost every night while I was under construction when I lived there.
Oh, really?
With him, and then some other projects, and his office. And my proposal for that was doing video documentation of the work, but also overdrawing on it. So video technology was not, you couldn't do this kind of stuff we do today. Like it was literally, I had a high camera that had good lenses, and I had a pair of S-video decks. I don't expect anyone to know what that actually means, but it was a higher resolution of VHS, and you could do thumb crash editing. Basically, like, you know, it was not electronically controlled edit. So,
Wow.
and I had all kinds of contraptions for doing lo-fi, essentially effects on video, and I did overdrawing on the videos that did analysis of structure and space.
True.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Anyway, that got exhibited and people saw it. And one of the people that saw it was Michael van Valkenburg, who is the director of the landscape department at Harvard.
Oh.
And so he had a Graham Foundation grant to document 2 people's work. Richard Haig, a landscape architect in Seattle, and Dan Kiley, a landscape architect who lived in Vermont, one of maybe more famous modernist landscape architects. So I did documentary work for him, for both of those people. And people saw that. And so I got hired to work at the Carpenters Center, which was Harvard's School of Visual Arts. And I taught, or I co-assisted in their documentary film class. So I taught documentary filmmaking. That's all before I came back to Florida. When I came back to Florida, I did start working in an architecture firm, but a very small one. My brother and I had intended to come back to Gainesville and buy houses together and repair them and, you know, live there and rent them. So without him, I just came back and found one and bought it and fixed it up. So I spent probably a year taking a house and restoring it.
Are you still in that home now?
No. Our son was born there and our daughter was there for her first month, but we knew we had to do something different. So it was a very tiny house right in the downtown between a homeless shelter and a sound equipment rental place and right behind the fire station.
Oh, wow.
Which my son loved because he could just go out, you know, as a 1 to 2 year old and watch them tear down all their equipment, test their saws, put their ladders up, spray stuff, drag weights across the parking lot. Anyway, it was a very urban experience in Gainesville. But we moved just down the street from it into a subdivision with some larger places. But
So you came back, right? To Gainesville, and what we're very intrigued to know, like, what really got you into being a professor? Like, well, how do you got to UF, and then kind of how you transitioned to, you know, like starting this program and running it and kind of coming to Orlando, like.
Yeah, I'll say if I look back at it, my entire life is a series of accidents of a sort, or you know, I didn't plan any of it. Frankly, it was more like I certainly had opportunities.
True.
Yeah.
And you took them.
And I did take them.
Yeah, you did.
And it didn't always lead to something, but I do have my dream job, so I can't complain about that.
Which job is your dream job?
Yeah,
so you have many right now.
Well, yeah, that's true. So being an architect is part of my identity. And so that's not my dream job part at the moment. This is actually it. And so to answer your question, I would have to go through that whole thing. So I didn't ever intend to teach, but the experience at the Carpenters Center was a good one, and teaching was a good one. And when I was at the GSD, people came to me to learn theory because we had really good theory courses at UF. And I had already read all the stuff that, not all of it, but a lot of the stuff that Chemical Hayes was assigning us in theory class. And I could synthesize it and talk about it. So I knew I could communicate ideas so people could understand them.
Yeah.
But when I came back to Gainesville, I didn't think I was going to teach. But
you always wanted to come back.
Okay, so there was a different me who might have moved to New York and might have done something very different.
Yeah, I can see that.
But that me didn't happen. A lot of my friends are there. Right. So did I want to come back? It was more because of the tragedy that I came back.
Yeah.
Did I regret coming back? No, because also I was coming back because there was this woman that I really liked, and I talked her into coming to Gainesville, right? And we're married, and have 3 kids, so
Worked out.
Yeah.
it worked
Worked
out.
out too. Yeah.
So yeah, there were a lot of reasons. You never can nail, I think, a decision down to one.
Yeah.
That's true.
But when I came back to Gainesville, that same Professor Gunderson that I talked about earlier called me and asked if I could fill in as an adjunct for a course. And that was, I want to say, Design 3 in 1998. So I did, and I really did enjoy that. And they kept asking me back. Well, no, they didn't ask me back right away because the director at the time after that wasn't really interested in local adjuncts. She was bringing people from South and Central America, which was great. It was fine.
Yeah.
That was her idea. But eventually then I did start teaching again in 2008, I think was the next time. So I worked in practice during those years, and I became licensed during that time, and
While teaching.
that sort of thing.
Yeah.
No, while not teaching.
Oh, well, not
And that
teaching.
break
before
between-
you started up
between
again.
98 and so I think I finally got my license actually in 2009, but that whole time I was in a partnership doing small projects, right?
Okay. So kind of how did you get here to Orlando? I think it's like why, I know there was a program director before you, right?
For CityLab.
For CityLab. And
Mhm.
then how it kind of became you and it's now like growing so much and you have a lot of students. And...
So I taught on main campus, lower division, and undergrad for almost 10 years. And I love that curriculum. So heavily invested in it.
Yeah.
But I was an adjunct, and I did try to apply for some positions, permanent positions along the way, and I wasn't probably a good fit. When you don't plan to teach, it's hard actually to teach, even if you're already doing it, because the jobs that the school wants to fill, they want to fill them with someone who has very a focused research agenda, has record of funding or publication. They're not really hiring out of practice per se.
Okay. Yeah.
And even the practice I was doing, I wouldn't say it was notable anyway. I had some cool projects or whatever, but it wasn't like I was a celebrity architect or something. So it was hard to get a position.
Oh, wow.
So I will say this, if you want to teach today, you need to plan to teach.
Start now.
You do need to start. And you need to have a plan for it. You need to have a mentor in academia that can help guide you. And the time to start really is while you're in grad school and you're doing your research and you're thinking ahead and you're trying to make matches in maybe PhD programs or things like this. So I didn't know that part. So I think that meant that teaching as an adjunct seemed for a good period of time like that was my dead end, actually. And that was going to be an adjunct in practice.
Okay.
Which,
Yeah.
that's fine. I got to go to VIA, Vicenza Institute of Architecture, to teach in 2014. Really great experience there.
Yeah.
But it was a transition period between directors. So I was coming back to a director that I didn't know. And I was a little worried about that. Like, am I going to teach again or whatever?
True.
And I had met and had really good experiences with Dr. Bosworth, Frank Bosworth, who was hired as the founding director of CityLabs. He's like, well, why don't you come down to Orlando and teach? I said, yeah, I'd love to do that. So when I came back from VIA, the next semester I started down here. It was a bit of a commute.
Yeah.
A little bit.
And we were over in the UCF building, Center for Emerging Media, in a room that had a leaky roof and only one window. Right? That's what CityLab was back then.
Wow.
Right?
Oh, wow.
But great students. So I mentioned that, like, I think that the increasingly the way that we judge who's right for a program by numbers only typically is not always a really good situation. It means that like the students that I might teach at University of Florida main campus, like had to check a certain number of boxes and have a certain number of a certain number on their test scores and a certain GPA, and then they also had to have a certain amount of money and a certain amount of freedom. That didn't always seem like the right thing to me. I always enjoyed the students that came in at Design 5 for out of UCF or out of Valencia at the time, before UCF emerged. So I was getting a very different kind of student, and it was 2+2+2 students and international students. And CityLab students had a very different sort of interest in the profession because most of them were already working.
Yeah.
So if you're going to have a program, a professional program, it should be mixing the education you get through experience with the education you get in the academy.
Agreed. Yeah.
It's very different.
And it kind of goes back to what you were saying. It's more of like the quality rather than the quantity.
Oh yeah.
So there's not a lot of students here, but but we're learning so many things, and it's really like honing into that.
What do you mean there's not a lot of you?
I feel like now
in
there is.
comparison to
Well, it's been growing.
I
well,
feel
yeah,
like
we're growing.
CityLab has been growing.
How many people are in our class? Like 20?
You have
20
24 in your
24.
incoming class.
but
and
this new
The
year.
current class is
Yeah.
60 students, including Jack's lab.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
a big jump.
Huge jump.
Yeah.
Which it's good. It's very good.
It's good. So, I mean, you could look at this program in a number of ways. To me, if it's growing, it's good. If it's not growing, it's because either it needs to change or it's done its job, frankly. I mean, the architecture professional environment in Orlando or Central Florida is why CityLab exists. If that environment is saturated and there's not somewhere else for people to go, then it shouldn't be growing, frankly, right?
Yeah.
We grew into Jacksonville,
True.
Yeah.
right?
True.
For similar reasons. The profession wanted the talent. And so the program there will grow. If there's somewhere else we need to grow and that sort of thing happens, that's great.
Yeah.
It shouldn't grow just for the sake of growing. I mean, academia is not like, it's not like some other kind of market for a product.
Yeah,
You know?
agree.
Yeah. So, but you've been here, you've seen it grow from zero. Because when did CityLab start?
I didn't see it from zero.
Okay.
UCF started in 2010, I want to say.
The UCF architecture
Architecture.
program.
Yeah,
Oh,
so
wow.
Valencia
That's
was
recent.
already here. Valencia had been here forever.
Okay.
The UCF BDes started in 10 and graduated its first cohort in 2012. And CityLab was ready and open for that cohort to begin
Oh,
in
wow.
2012. We had a couple of students who were already partway through a degree or something like that came. Like I think Gretel Castillo only spent maybe 1 year in the program and graduated. So we did have a few graduates before 2014, but that was our first class.
Okay. So then you came in around like
In the latter half of that
latter
year.
half. Okay. So you've seen it grow.
Oh yeah.
You've seen
Yeah.
it
From
grow.
pretty
So
early
what? And then you weren't here in
We
this
didn't
space.
have core then either.
Oh.
So, and I will tell you the one thing that my one reservation about leaving main campus and coming here was that I would only teach grad school and I would never get to teach lower division and undergrad again.
Which is what you
Which
love.
is what you love, yeah.
I love it all,
Yeah.
but yes,
You have
there's
favorites.
something about like the first year when it was magical for me to learn to see the world differently, the way we do as future architects in our first year, that I would miss. Like the dialogue with that student is a fascinating and energetic one.
Yeah.
So we got core then.
You started core? Or
No,
was it
I
just kind
can't
of
take
came?
responsibility for anything, for starting anything. Like, yeah.
But you were here at the beginning of it.
I think Frank wanted it, and Frank knew I could teach it.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Yeah. You had the talent for it.
He knew I could teach. And so UF, as you know from UCF, also is a very particular place about the curriculum.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So main campus wasn't going to trust someone who they didn't know, who they thought didn't know the curriculum, probably to just start throwing core around. That would be
Right.
rogue.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
So core came in recently because was it always, I guess, a program for students to come from different backgrounds there, or was it more of a, how would you describe
Core?
The birth of core.
Yeah, the
Yeah,
birth,
the birth
of
of
core.
core.
Because I mean, graduate and core.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, for Orlando, I think core was predominantly a career changer thing.
Mhm.
And it did start, I want to say 2016 probably is when we started core. So it's been a while
Okay.
for that as well.
Mm-hmm.
I think it was driven by career changers.
Mm-hmm.
It's people who knew they always wanted to be an architect.
Yeah.
Doesn't everyone say that?
Yeah.
Right? So that means that there's a lot of core students out there. They just haven't found us yet.
Yeah, it's true.
Yep.
You hear us.
They
Anyway.
do.
So yeah, there's that. And then, recently it's become more of a way to help repair the Valencia UCF gateway problem.
Yep.
There's more than 40 good designers
That's true.
Yeah.
in Valencia, and only 40 get into the BDES. So when you have 120 pinning up, there's got to be more. And so they can enter the core program in the second year.
Oh, they have that opportunity.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know
I
that.
didn't know that
So
either.
that's the last couple of years. That's been what the main cohort in core.
Oh, wow. That's interesting. So, I mean, CityLab is growing. Do you think we'll always be here in this space, or do you think we'll kind of expand?
Space is less relevant to CityLab.
Okay.
We were a little bit hybrid, high flex even before COVID. In fact, all this Zoom room stuff I had installed before COVID. And in a way, it was to try to connect us better with main campus. We don't need a ton of space. I mean, do you guys use all that space?
Only when we're here once a week.
Yeah.
Yeah, right?
Yeah, I feel
Well,
like the hybrid aspect.
I
has
think
helped.
the thing I like about CityLab, and for me personally, CityLab was the only place I applied to because I didn't want to go to a place where I couldn't work. For me, that was what was most important. And I think the great thing about this program is you can do that. Like, you can get that exposure to, like we were saying, to both the real profession and the academic side, which can be very different.
Yeah.
And being able to go from 2 + 2 + 2 is like such a great sort of path. And I think it would be nice to kind of see Valencia and UCF and CityLab be in one space together to feel like this cohesive thing that it is, because many of us here are from, I think majority of us, I would say, are from 2
we
+
know
2
it
+
just
2.
Mm-hmm. Well, you've seen the OCAD projects, right?
Yeah.
That Core 4 did.
Then yep.
Lucas does with them.
Yeah.
That's always been a really inspiring project because it does just that. It puts all of us in the building with AIA and OFA, which is, I mean, how ideal would that be?
Yeah.
Right? Be very cool.
And they were talking that it could be even like a pin-up space. You showcase work of students, UCF, Valencia, UF, kind of everybody. Yeah, that will be.
It's going to be
cool.
a really good hub
Yeah,
for everyone
agree.
to just come together instead of it being so separate.
So I heard that UCF's coming closer.
We
I've
heard
heard too.
through the
That too.
grapevine.
Heard to
mean,
somebody.
I hope it's true.
I think it's true.
So
Yeah.
because I agree, I think the downtown is the right place to be.
Yes.
First of all,
That's for
Yes.
sure.
your faces were here before you came to school here,
Mhm.
right?
Exactly. Yeah.
And I think the integration has been increasing,
Mhm.
and part of that is thanks to Arlen Gill, one of our grads, putting the AAC together as a ad hoc committee of the AIA, the
Mhm.
Academic Alliance Council,
Yep.
and getting me and Tommy and
Yeah.
Yeah.
Josh and student representatives from AIA and
Yeah.
S and YAF and everyone together once a month to talk about what our opportunities are and coordinate schedules and plan events. And it's really made a difference, I think, for students in this professional environment.
And that's kind of when I first met you officially, when I was president back then at UCF.
You would come to
AIAS.
those meetings.
I came to those meetings, and I would hear all these professionals, professors, everybody talking, and they're all in the same room or in the same Zoom.
And that's when you discover how student focused all of this is.
Yeah,
right?
exactly. Yeah. And I really liked it. Yeah. I wanted to be more involved and help out however I can, and kind of spread the word.
No, it's honestly helped. So, like in the future, what do you see CityLab, or even the 2+2+2 program be in the future? Like, do you think you'll be a professor here, a director here for a really long time, or is there anything like future plans that you still aspire to be? I know this is your dream job, but
or you have someone training in the behind the scenes to
The
take
next
your
vendor.
spot.
I wish. Frank always told me you need an assistant. I don't know if that's going to be the case, frankly. You know, I think it's like
she will be great.
It's hard to do this job alone with this many students. Maggie's incredible, and our director Nancy Clark, fantastic.
Yeah,
and she knows CityLab because she knows Jack's Lab, because she's been in this boat with us. She's out on the road on the rogue planet of CityLab. Eventually I have to retire, right?
You need a mini break.
I don't plan to work till I'm 70 or whatever, as long as Dr. Bosworth did. I don't plan to do that. I know architects, we're supposed to do architecture till we die. I'll probably do that. Right, but I probably won't do this. And also like I like to think that I'm still probably young at heart, but you know, at some point someone has to come in from another generation too. So yeah, I'm looking.
Yeah.
You know, that would be a 10-year plan.
Yeah, it's true.
So.
Well, that's good to know that you'll be here for a while, because we need you. No, for sure.
Well, you don't know what you're missing. What someone else could be better.
Well,
you know what I'm saying?
No,
we don't know that.
We do learn a lot, though. We do learn a lot.
Yeah.
Well, Professor, thanks for joining us and sparing the time to speak to us. It's been a pleasure, honestly, listening and learning your story. We've learned so much in these few minutes that you've had for us, and it's honestly been very interesting learning about your journey to becoming a director and having that dream job that you've always dreamt to have.
Thanks. It's a pleasure to be here with you guys. I mean, CityLab is for the students.
Yeah.
So
and we feel it.
Thanks for
we feel it. We do.
For inviting me to talk with you all.
As our first special guest.
Ooh, a special guest.
You are the first one.
Thank you.
Thank you, Professor.
Thanks.
Thank you.